see? I have a lot of my crew over here that want to send a heartfelt thanks. Any way we can repay you? That's really impressive. You take care out there.
Smudge the paint.
I bet Cora's already finished the pre-flight checklist. That's my girl.
Seems like the Crimson Fleet is everywhere these days.
Looks like this place has seen better days.
How about my foot up your ass, newsboy? That a big enough scoop for you?
I really don't think that's appropriate talk, coming from a Vanguard pilot.
That's exactly your problem. You don't think. If you weren't such a lousy reporter, you wouldn't be stuck all the way out here.
I mean, I guess maybe that's true, but if so, you're just as stuck out here as I am. So what does that say?
Oh, wow! You really do want me to kick your ass, don't ya?
All right, that's enough. Bastion, go cool off. Get a drink.
Whatever. Fine.
Holden, I appreciate that you have a job to do. I really do. But you need to consider that you don't operate in a vacuum. If you're stationed here long term, that means you're around these people all day, every day. And they're not going to like it if you're making them look bad.
Lieutenant Commander Marquez, I appreciate your concern, but I have an obligation to SSNN to report on what I see.
I'm sure they do know that, Holden. I'm just saying, maybe use a little more discretion in your reporting. Maybe a lot. Don't worry. When the next big story breaks out here, I'll be sure to help you get the scoop, okay?
I will think on that. Thank you. If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through. I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears. It's a little surprising, isn't it? Out here on the edge of UC space, but it's just so quiet. really did think this place would see a bit more action. If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through. I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears.
I am, hands down, the best pilot in this dump. Don't let anyone tell you different.
I really did think this place would see a bit more action. It's a little surprising, isn't it? Out here on the edge of UC space, but it's just so quiet. It's a little surprising, isn't it? Out here on the edge of UC space, but it's just so quiet. If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through.
My mother wanted me to be a doctor. A doctor. Mothers, am I right?
I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears. I really did think this place would see a bit more action. If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through. I really did think this place would see a bit more action. It's a little surprising, isn't it? Out here on the edge of UC space, but it's just so quiet. I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears. think this place would see a bit more action. I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all yours. If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through. Why, certainly. The Settled Systems News Network is the longest-running news service in, well, the Settled Systems. Reporters are dispatched all over, keeping an ear to the ground for some breaking news that should be known to everyone. It can, admittedly, be a bit of a pain making sure those stories reach our central office in New Atlantis. But until someone invents faster-than-light communication, it's the best we can do. Well, I certainly feel that way. The Vanguard pilots don't seem to want to associate with me. And I don't agree with Mr. Romack's views on the colony war, so there are few options left to me. You know, I really thought volunteering for this assignment was going to be the boost to my career that I was looking for. Now I suspect even SSNN has forgotten about me. But that's not at all what I'm doing. I feel like no one is listening to me. Farewell, then.
Only a matter of time before I get promoted out of here. Marquez is all right, I guess. Yeah, she's gonna be lucky to have me as a boss. What does it matter? I'm gonna be out of here before you can blink, and this will all be behind me. That reporter didn't put you up to this, did he? I already told him. It was a misunderstanding. An accident. My flight record was spotless otherwise. You kidding? It's what I was born to do. Wait, I mean flying is what I was born to do. This Vanguard thing? Temporary. Only a matter of time before I get called up to the Navy. Before you know it, I'll be a captain. No, wait. Admiral. Yeah. Okay, then.
Everything good? We're here to help.
Welcome to the Trade Authority. I'm Marcel, and if there's anything I can do for you, please, do let me know. Our stock may not be as vast as New Atlantis or Sidonia, but I will do my best to see that you leave here satisfied. And seeing as the Trade Authority is the only fully licensed operator for the Den, I'm afraid your alternatives are, shall we say, slim. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I hope this and all future interactions are profitable for both of us. By all means.
You next. Good grief. What'd she borrow? I'll talk to Cora. She knows she has to ask.
Got
Trust
anything
me,
you need to
it's all everything
offload?
about it.
Trade Authority is always buying. Kiosk right here for you.
Good to see you. If there's anything I can do for you, please say the word. Yes, of course.
I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere? It's because they have little outposts everywhere. There were so many facilities abandoned after the Colony War, the pirates used them as forward operating bases, all over the settled systems.
Hi there, friend. Oh, so good to see you again. You weren't waiting
Oh,
long,
this
were
is
you?
just sad. I mean, I'll have a drink, but it'll be a sad drink.
Take care.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own the settled
Textbook there. We're free.
Time to cycle the airlock and move.
We're ready to take off, Captain.
You're out there a lot, right? In space. Just do us all a favor and never...
Hey,
one
newbie.
of those
It's a nice set of boots you got there. They for sale?
galaxy.
I'll give you, say, 500 credits for them.
Even the Crimson
They'd look better on me anyway. Nothing. I just want yours. I don't know. Looks like they're perfect. Sturdy, polished, and just my size. But fine. If you don't want to sell, it's your loss. Truth is, I don't need new boots. I just need a change. The monotony in this place is killing me.
I know we're not a priority for the Vanguard or the UC, but it's still space worth protecting. I should be grateful that things are so quiet here, but it just makes me uneasy. Haven't seen you around here before. Welcome to the den. Reina Marquez. I head up the Vanguard station here. If you've got business with the Vanguard, I hope you ran it through Mast first. If not, you probably made a long jump for nothing. Oh gosh, no. Vanguard wasn't even a thought back when this place was first built. The den, the original den, mind you, got blown up during the Serpent's Crusade. UC Navy immediately rebuilt the station, I think largely out of spite. Sometimes I think that's why they keep it operational too. Certainly hasn't had much real purpose since the Colony War ended. I'm glad we have it as a post, and Marcel and the Trade Authority do some decent business, which I try very hard not to pay attention to. But the station has never recaptured that old glory. Don't think it ever will, really. Might be counterintuitive, but no. No, we don't. It's pretty quiet, and some of us deal with that better than others. We get the occasional distress call. Sometimes Varun stirs up trouble, but there's a lot of downtime. I'm not complaining, but others, like Bastion there, it's not what he was expecting. Certainly not what he wanted. The same thing we do everywhere else. Fill in the gaps for the UC Navy. Help keep the settled systems peaceful and safe. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge all the way out here, but we try our best. I wouldn't mind a little more support from New Atlantis, but I know things are tough all over. Vanguard's here if you need us.
Wait, you know that's not ours.
Only a matter of time before I get promoted out of here.
You know, if you go out there with no helmet on, your head will totally explode. True story.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, say the word.
I try not to trade in gossip, but if you haven't verifiable information...
Ship's released. Let's go.
You ask me, the real New Atlantis is down here. That stuff topside. Personally, I think daylight's overrated. I get by just fine. Yes, you did. You know how I know? The rain cloud over your head is all but gone. Here, for your hard work. With a Lady Luck back on my side, I expect the business to be less bust and more boom. And let us never speak of those accursed woods ever again.
Today's a peach of a day. Because of you. You know that's illegal.
UC security! Stop right now! You're making things harder for yourself.
All this stuff is legit. Promise. Happy to make a deal. You need stuff, I need credits. It all? Yes, you did. You know how I know? The rain cloud over your head is all but gone. Here, for your hard work. With a Lady Luck back on my side, I expect the business to be less bust and more boom. And let us never speak of those accursed woods ever again.
Prices on raw materials have really dropped lately. It's those independent mining companies.
Nice clean dock then. Board's green. Ready for what comes next.
Hope you have a good stay.
Stroud, and on behalf of Stroud Eklund, welcome. In our new state-of-the-art star yard, we are creating revolutionary new starships at prices that are out of this world. You've seen the rest. It's time you tried a Stroud Eklund.
It must have cost a fortune to build this place so fast.
Let me know if you have any problems.
Tried and true is what we should focus on.
Don't tell Walter, but his star yard is pretty incredible. He's no empty suit. That's the God's honest truth.
Suited for deep space exploration. That's a great suggestion. But you know what? We haven't heard from Nev yet. Maybe she has some marketing insights. Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hello. Hi there. It means I'm responsible for making sure our projects are carried through to completion. I'm not the one calling all the shots per se, but I do need to ensure the people making those calls are empowered to do that within the limits the executive set for us. It might surprise you to hear that no, I have not. This is actually the first project I've led for Stroud Eklund. I recently graduated with a master's degree in engineering management. I'm actually kind of surprised they hired me, but I was at the top of my class, so maybe they didn't want to lose me to some other star yard. Anyway, I'm grateful for the chance to do good work here. You must be Walter's colleague. He informed me that you'd be taking charge of Project Kepler despite the fact that we have a fully dedicated R&D staff already assigned to it. But that's okay. I'm sure that even though you have virtually no experience with this, you'll do a great job. Oh, I just assumed. You know what? I'm really sorry. I should trust Walter knew what he was doing. My bad.
Even so, we have plenty of designers.
As you probably know, we're tasked with coming up with Stroud Eklund's next hit starship. But we have budget concerns, market research to finish, and we can't seem to agree on a design. So I guess Walter sent you to resolve these issues. Have at it. Ah, right, so you mentioned. Let's move on to solving our budget issues then, shall we? We were charged with building the newest, hottest ship on the market, which won't be possible unless we petition the board for more money. So we have two new budget proposals. One will allow us to build what I consider to be a very sensible ship, but we'll have to make some tough design cuts. The other will allow us much more flexibility to put whatever we want into the ship. It's what I call the kitchen sink proposal. I don't love it, but it'll be next to impossible to approve. What should we go with? I'd love to, seriously. It would be a huge win for us if we came in under or at that budget. But none of the viable designs for this project can be made for that amount. I've already rejected that budget, so I have to go to the board regardless. And since you're now responsible for the major decisions, which budget proposal we go with falls on you. It's more that we can only choose certain design elements at the expense of others. In other words, if we go with something in Mike's design, there's not enough money in the budget for what Ella wants. That's one of the reasons we haven't been able to agree on anything. While it's true we'd be able to afford to put anything and everything into that design, it's just not practical, and the board will put more pressure on us to see that it succeeds. I worry that without constraints, my team will be disincentivized to focus this ship in any given direction, and they'll try to cram in everything but the kitchen sink, hence the name. Who knows what kind of monstrosity we'd create if we tried to incorporate all of our designs? And would something that expensive actually sell? Sorry, just thinking to myself. I was afraid you'd say that. Look, I'm the one who has to go to the board with this proposal, so before I can convince them this is going to be worth it, you're going to need to convince me. Well, I'm all ears because it's going to take a miracle to convince them. A smart leader knows when some ideas just aren't worth pursuing. I hadn't considered it that way. It gives us some wiggle room if we need to try some things, and if we come in way under budget, it'll look good. Well, there's always room for personal improvement, I suppose. Maybe. I won't rule it out. Okay, I think you made some good points. I'll go to the board with the kitchen sink proposal and get that approved.
Make your best pitch, Jules. You don't get many chances to fight for your dreams.
Great, that's one problem solved. I'll go forward with that budget proposal and we can move on. Next, we need to gather some market data. The best way to do this is to outfit your ship with some sensors and take it through some real-world scenarios so we can make more informed design decisions. Well, Mr. Stroud believes you fit in our target demographic. We heard about some of your adventures, and we tend to agree that getting data from someone like you will be helpful. Frankly, most of our test pilots played a little too safe, and the scenarios we run don't push the limits as much as we can get away with legally. But luckily, we don't have those same concerns with you, because you're not technically employed by us, and Walter trusts you. Great! Just pick up a mission or two at the mission board and proceed like you normally would. We'll collect the data when you return. If you take on a variety of missions, we can build a ship to handle a variety of scenarios. But if you just fly one mission, we can build a more focused ship. It's up to you. In the meantime, you might also want to talk with the team, get to know them, give feedback on their proposals, etc. Good luck out there.
So, you're Walter's friend. I know he chose you to head this project as some sort of favor. Honestly, as senior technical designer, I was hoping to receive that honor, but there's always next time. Regardless, I'm excited to help you out. Do you have any experience building spaceships? This is wonderful to hear. I hope for all of our sakes that you are not overselling your ability. Now, I know you've been asked to give feedback on our design proposals. Would you care for a brief synopsis of mine? I'm the most senior designer on this project, for one. Despite all the acclaim he gets, I actually referred Frank to his current design position. He and I were in the same design program when we went to get our degrees back in uni. We support each other as friends as much as possible. Even when we disagree. I love my job here. But I dream one day of working for a small startup or running my own design firm so I can work on custom ships instead of mass-produced products. Of course. But first, let me ask you this. What pilot demographic is currently being underserved by the current Starship market? Yeah, good chat. Did you just check out of this conversation? Well, you're no fun. My idea is a little less conventional. I believe we should invest in making a dedicated exploration ship, marketed towards citizen scientists. Sure, we and other manufacturers have lines of exploration ships, but none built with the average consumer in mind. It's my hope that we can jumpstart a new era of affordable, accessible space exploration, fueled by ordinary people like you and me. I'd start with a small ship profile. It won't need much storage or passenger capacity. Then, of course, you would want an advanced grav drive to reach deep space and plenty of energy for extended flights. In order to keep costs down, it likely doesn't need expensive weapon systems or defensive measures. It won't need those where it's going. And of course, high-end scanners and other scientific equipment is a must. Yeah, that's what Jules said too. But at least that gives me something to think about. Thanks. I'll refine the idea and propose it next time, I guess. Why do I feel like answering this could be a trap coming from someone who was sent here by Walter to step in and take over our project? It's not like I have anything to hide. I used to think working for a super wealthy corporation would be terrible, but honestly, it's pretty great. They've been good to me, and the stability is way better than any startup. I've had opportunities I wouldn't have anywhere else, so yeah.
Pretty great.
But she's been with us for ages.
Bye.
This is going great. Just fantastic.
I do like the ships we're looking at.
I'm wondering if we need another chef in the kitchen. Then again, I hear Walter brought you in to finally make a decision around here. Well, how do I put this? My co-workers are smart people. But between you and me, they're in way over their head with this project. Jules especially. She's new at being a project lead and has insisted we design by committee, so everyone's voice is heard. Admirable. But no one could agree on anything, and we're running significantly behind because of it. Good. Just so long as you don't push us to make anything too nutty. I think your decisiveness will put us back on the right track. Speaking of which, I think my plan will get us where we need to be as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's simple, no frills, and most importantly, won't cause me any major headaches on the engineering side. Let me tell you, all the creative minds around here are so concerned with designing the most innovative and fancy ships possible. They never stop to think about the kind of work it takes to do that in a reasonable time frame. Yes, we're engineers. Our job is to make the bloody impossible possible. But that doesn't mean it's easy or practical. That and there's never enough of us to go around. It's truth, and we need it. The others believe we need to think big and innovate. Reality is, we just need to do what we do better than anyone else. So I'm thinking, there's loads of fighters. No sense in mucking about with that again. And we've already got one of the best luxury liners in the biz. What I figure is, the cargo running business is booming, and no one's quite built a personal craft like that to serve the working class folk. Nothing fancy, no frills. Just a simple, sturdy, inexpensive ship with cargo room up the wazoo and make it so easy my cousin's little moppet could fly it. Our objective should be to build a huge ship with plenty of cargo room while keeping the costs low. Doesn't need fancy equipment, just the basics. Basic weapons, basic defenses, basic scanners. You get the idea. If we go with a design like that, I can focus on quality construction, and the ship will practically sell itself. Yes, of course. Zhuzh it up, just enough to disappoint me even more when we ultimately end up choosing something ridiculous. Thanks. I assume you mean the company and not the people. Because even if I didn't already think so, I'd tell you that both Walter and Issa are great. The company's still kind of young as far as Star Yards go, but it seems to be going in the right direction, despite what it may look like. I've been doing this for a while at other Star Yards, and so far, we're avoiding a lot of the mistakes some of the older corps have made. Nope, not really. I like to think I don't have the ego for it. I've got nothing to prove, and I don't rightly care to make my mark on the industry. All I want to do is build the best damn starships I can, not get bogged down with all the excess particulars. But upper management loves the work I do, and they wouldn't let me say no to this. I guess they needed someone to keep everyone's heads out of the clouds, so here I am. Yeah, that's me, innit? Been here since the start of the company. Done engineering for going on 30 years total. Though I keep telling them, it's senior, not lead engineer. I've got no interest in being lead. Too much management. Not enough tactile work. And yet here I am, resigned to my fate on the R&D team. Later, mate.
That data from your ship is going to be critical to our design process. Assuming you...
You know, I have designed spacecraft for over 10 years. So, you must have really impressed Walter for him to give you this project. Or maybe it's a bit of nepotism. Never mind that. Perhaps he sees in you what he sees in me. My hope is that he sees the passion in our work. In truth, I know he values me, but he has yet to truly cut me loose from the corporate reins and let me do as I wish. But I understand Walter has given you much greater control of our project. Perhaps I can learn from you and convince him I'm ready for the same. Ah, yes. At least you may be more open to my ideas than my colleagues. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Imagine a luxury craft designed for the most discerning of tastes. Every feature designed for comfort and peace of mind. High-end performance, precision engineering, a spacecraft for those who wish to be seen. This will be the most elite personal craft on the market. The ship should be mid-size, spacious but not bulky. We'll want to build it with the highest quality, most expensive modules available. It should feel safe but not threatening. Focus on defensive measures, not aggressive weaponry. Above all, you should be able to picture your favorite celebrity, or Walter himself, flying this ship and influencing others to buy as well. I'm glad you agree. Such an ostentatious luxury craft will be the envy of everyone in the settled systems. Two words: conspicuous consumption. Are you familiar with this concept? Of course you do. I'm glad you understand. Imagine someone like Borealis stepping out of one of our shining luxury ships. Everyone would want to look that cool. Not only would I have the chance to work on a dream ship, but that kind of exposure is guaranteed to sell it. Because I am the lead designer on the project, it is literally my job to design it. It is frustrating because I keep getting pushback. And Jules has this idea that we will make a better product by designing it all together. Since everyone has equal say, it led us to a standstill. It was much easier before. Just because I do not like how corporate we have become, doesn't mean I don't like getting paid. Besides, with every successful ship I design, I believe I can influence the company to shift away from typical corporate bullshit and back to taking risks by pursuing art and innovation. Then again, here we are. See you.
Need something? Oh, you really want to hear my ideas? I mean, I have an idea, but it's not that great. I'm not even a designer or anything. So, I was thinking that we could really use a recreational craft in our fleet. But not like super luxurious like our Adonis pleasure yacht, something marketed more towards families. Something Mom and Dad could pack up and take the kids on vacation. You probably think that's stupid, right? I used to go off-world camping with my family when I was a kid. The other families we met always complained their ships weren't quite adequate for family vacations. They never had enough room, and the kids would always fight. I've done some market research, and no ship manufacturer seems to be making ships for things like this. Which means even if the demand is low, we can fill this niche and still sell a lot. I haven't thought of all the details, but I'd imagine lots of passenger space would be a top priority. A mid-sized ship with enough room for one, or maybe even 2 or 3 families to spread out and relax. I don't think it'd need any fancy weapons or scientific equipment, so it should be pretty affordable. Families don't want to spend a fortune, so keeping the cost low will help guarantee plenty of sales. Oh, really? Wow, I am... Thank you. I'm really glad I told you about it. Well, if we end up making it, I swear I'll work up a hell of an ad campaign for it. It's interesting. I'm new, and I've never done anything like this before coming here. Marketing for ships, specifically, that is. There are so many things to think of for different demographics, like style, features, cost, and all that. And you also need to think about offensive and defensive capabilities, because space is dangerous, and people need to feel like the ship they're buying is safe. So far I do, but just between you and me, I feel like I'm in a little over my head. I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but my bosses really seem to like my work, so I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm doing something right. I still feel weird pitching ideas to people who have been at this for so much longer than I have. Yeah, I've only been here for a few months. I did a little marketing for Chunks before this, but it was really more of an internship. Ships are totally different than that. I applied for the job here on a whim because I thought it'd be fun. I never expected to be hired. See you later.